Welcome. Get comfortable, close your eyes if you'd like, and let's explore some fascinating facts about food. These aren't just interesting tidbits, they're insights into how the things we eat every day interact with our bodies in remarkable ways. There's no need to remember everything. Just listen, relax, and let the information wash over you like a gentle wave. Let's begin with a simple truth. Many everyday foods contain specific bioactive compounds that affect the body in measurable ways, from lowering cholesterol to reducing inflammation. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're ordinary ingredients you've probably encountered countless times. An apple, a handful of nuts, a cup of tea, each one carrying molecules that communicate with your cells, quietly doing their work while you go about your day. Now, let's talk about something truly extraordinary happening inside you right now, your gut microbiome. Think of it as an entire ecosystem, a hidden garden of trillions of microscopic organisms living in your digestive system. These tiny inhabitants play a massive role in your health, influencing everything from digestion to immunity to even your mood. And certain foods act as caretakers for this inner garden. Yogurt is one of the most well-known examples. Those creamy spoonfuls contain probiotic bacteria, live microorganisms that can take up residence in your gut and contribute to a balanced microbial community. Lactobacillus and bifidobacterium are common strains you'll find swimming through every bite. They've been consumed for thousands of years, long before anyone understood why fermented milk made people feel better. They just knew it did. Then there's kefir, yogurt's Tangier, more complex cousin. Kefir grains, which aren't actually grains at all, but clusters of bacteria and yeast, ferment milk into a drink that contains an even more diverse array of probiotics than yogurt. Some varieties contain dozens of different bacterial strains, each bringing their own benefits to the table. It's like inviting a whole community of helpful neighbors to settle in your gut. Fermented soy products like miso, tempeh, and natto have been staples in Asian cuisines for centuries. Miso paste, made from fermented soybeans and koji mold, carries beneficial bacteria along with enzymes that aid digestion. Tempeh, with its firm texture and nutty flavor, is created by fermenting soybeans with rhizopus mold. And natto, admittedly an acquired taste with its sticky, stringy texture, is perhaps the most probiotic-rich of all, teeming with Bacillus subtilis bacteria. Kimchi and sauerkraut might seem worlds apart culturally, but they share a common heritage: fermented cabbage. Kimchi, Korea's national dish, is a spicy, garlicky mixture of vegetables dominated by lactic acid bacteria that develop during fermentation. Sauerkraut, its German counterpart, undergoes a similar transformation. Both contain lactobacillus species that not only preserve the vegetables, but also colonize your gut, supporting digestive health and even producing vitamins like K2 in the process. That fermented cabbage does something else remarkable too. It helps strengthen your gut barrier. The lining of your intestines acts as a selective gateway, letting nutrients through while keeping harmful substances out. The probiotics from fermented vegetables support the integrity of this barrier, helping to maintain the tight junctions between cells. It's like reinforcing the walls of a fortress from the inside. Now, probiotics need food too, and that's where prebiotics come in. Honey, that golden sweetness produced by bees, acts as a prebiotic. It contains oligosaccharides, complex sugars that your body can't digest, but your beneficial gut bacteria can. They feast on these compounds, growing stronger and more numerous. Raw honey, in particular, also contains its own beneficial enzymes and antimicrobial compounds, making it a multitasking ingredient. Cranberries do more than just prevent urinary tract infections. Research suggests these tart berries can positively influence gut microbiota composition, encouraging the growth of beneficial bacteria while discouraging harmful ones. The polyphenols in cranberries act as food for your good bacteria, helping them thrive. Bananas, especially when they're still slightly green, contain resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and makes its way to the colon, where it becomes a feast for your gut bacteria. As these bacteria break down the resistant starch, they produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which nourish the cells lining your colon and have anti-inflammatory effects throughout the body. Even as bananas ripen and lose some of their resistant starch, they retain prebiotic fibers that continue to support gut health. Legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and their many cousins are exceptional sources of both resistant starch and various types of fiber. When you eat a bowl of black beans or a serving of lentil soup, much of that starch travels through your digestive system intact until it reaches your colon, where your gut bacteria transform it into beneficial compounds. Legumes have been sustaining human populations for millennia, and now we're beginning to understand one of the reasons why. They feed not just us, but the trillions of helpful organisms within us. Flax seeds offer something unique, a mixture of soluble and insoluble fiber, along with lignans and omega-3 fatty acids. When ground, and they must be ground for your body to access their benefits, flax seeds become a powerful prebiotic food. The mucilage, that gel-like substance that forms when flax seeds meet water, soothes the digestive tract while feeding beneficial bacteria. It's a tiny seed with an outsized impact. And finally, mushrooms. These fascinating organisms, neither plant nor animal, contain beta-glucans, complex polysaccharides that act as prebiotics. Beta-glucans from mushrooms like shiitake, maitake, and oyster mushrooms stimulate the growth of beneficial gut bacteria while also supporting immune function. They're one of nature's multitaskers, nourishing both your microbiome and your body's defense systems with every bite. From the probiotics in yogurt and kimchi to the prebiotics in bananas and mushrooms, these everyday foods are quietly tending to your inner ecosystem. Rest easy knowing that with each meal, you have the opportunity to nourish not just yourself, but the trillions of tiny helpers working on your behalf. Let's continue our journey through the world of food, shifting our focus now to digestion, fiber, and one of the most important aspects of metabolic health, blood sugar control. These might sound like clinical terms, but they're really about how your body processes the fuel you give it, how smoothly that fuel is delivered to your cells, and how the foods you choose can make that entire process gentler, steadier, and more efficient. Think about oats for a moment, those humble flakes or rolled grains that have been a breakfast staple for generations. Oats contain a special type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, and this compound does something remarkable in your digestive system. When you eat oatmeal, the beta-glucan forms a thick gel-like substance as it moves through your stomach and intestines. This gel slows down digestion, which means the carbohydrates in your meal are broken down and absorbed more gradually. The result? Your blood sugar rises slowly and steadily rather than spiking sharply. But that's not all beta-glucan does. It also binds to cholesterol in your digestive tract. helping to escort it out of your body before it can be absorbed. Study after study has shown that regular oat consumption can lower LDL cholesterol, the kind often called bad cholesterol, by meaningful amounts. So that warm bowl of oatmeal on a cool morning isn't just comforting, it's actively working to support your cardiovascular health with every spoonful. Now let's talk about apples. There's an old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It turns out there's more truth to that than simple folklore. Apples are rich in a type of soluble fiber called pectin, which, like the beta-glucan in oats, forms a gel in your digestive system. This slows the absorption of sugars, helping to prevent those dramatic blood sugar spikes and crashes that can leave you feeling tired and hungry again soon after eating. But apples offer something beyond just pectin. Their skin and flesh contain an abundance of polyphenols, plant compounds with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These polyphenols, particularly ones like quercetin and catechins, have been studied for their ability to support heart health, reduce inflammation, and even influence how your body handles glucose. When you bite into an apple, you're getting a package deal: fiber for your gut and blood sugar, polyphenols for cellular protection, and a satisfying crunch that makes healthy eating feel less like a chore and more like a pleasure. Pears are often overlooked in favor of their more popular cousin, the apple, but they deserve recognition in their own right. Like apples, pears are rich in fiber, about 6 grams in a medium-sized fruit, and they also contain sorbitol, a natural sugar alcohol that can have a mild laxative effect and support regularity. But what's particularly interesting about pears is their low glycemic impact. The glycemic index measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar, and pears score relatively low on this scale. This means they provide steady energy without causing the rapid glucose spikes that can stress your pancreas and lead to energy crashes. Eating a pear with its skin on gives you the full benefit of its fiber content, and that fiber works together with the fruit's natural sugars to deliver sweetness in a way your body can handle gracefully. Chia seeds are tiny, but their impact on digestion and blood sugar is anything but small. When chia seeds come into contact with liquid, whether that's water, milk, or the fluids in your stomach, they absorb many times their weight and form a gel-like coating. This gel is mostly soluble fiber, and it does several important things. First, it slows down the digestion of carbohydrates, leading to a more gradual release of glucose into your bloodstream. Second, it creates a feeling of fullness that can last for hours, which is why chia pudding has become such a popular breakfast or snack. Third, that gel-like fiber feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, contributing to the health of your microbiome. Chia seeds also contain omega-3 fatty acids, protein, and various minerals. For something so small, seeds that were once carried by Aztec warriors for sustained energy, they pack a remarkable nutritional punch. Sweet potatoes often surprise people when it comes to blood sugar. You might think that something so naturally sweet, so rich and starchy, would send blood glucose soaring. But sweet potatoes actually have a lower glycemic index than regular white potatoes, and they contain compounds that may improve insulin sensitivity. The orange flesh is packed with beta-carotene, which your body converts to vitamin A, supporting everything from vision to immune function. Sweet potatoes also contain a good amount of fiber, particularly if you eat the skin, and this fiber contributes to that slower, steadier release of glucose. Some research even suggests that certain compounds in sweet potatoes called can help improve blood sugar control over time. So when you're enjoying a baked sweet potato or a bowl of mashed sweet potato, you're not just treating your taste buds, you're choosing a complex carbohydrate that your body knows how to process in a balanced, measured way. Now, we've mentioned resistant starch before when talking about the gut microbiome, but it deserves its own moment in the spotlight here because of its profound effect on blood sugar control. Beans, peas, and lentils, all those members of the legume family, contain significant amounts of resistant starch, especially when they're cooked and then cooled. This type of starch literally resists digestion in your small intestine, meaning it doesn't break down into glucose right away. Instead, it travels to your colon, where it feeds your gut bacteria and gets transformed into beneficial compounds like short-chain fatty acids. The practical effect: when you eat a meal that includes beans or lentils, your blood sugar rise is more gradual and moderate. The fiber content of legumes, both soluble and insoluble, also contributes to this effect. A cup of cooked lentils contains about 15 grams of fiber, roughly half of what most people need in an entire day. That fiber slows digestion, promotes feelings of fullness, and helps maintain steady blood sugar levels for hours after your meal. It's one of the reasons why traditional diets around the world, from Mediterranean to Latin American to South Asian cuisines, have relied so heavily on legumes. They're not just affordable and versatile, they're metabolically kind to your body. Let's end this section with something seasonal and often associated with autumn: pumpkin. But here's something interesting. Pumpkin works best when you use both the flesh and the seeds together. The orange flesh of pumpkin is low in calories but high in fiber and beta-carotene, similar to sweet potato. It has a mild, slightly sweet flavor that makes it incredibly versatile, and its fiber content helps moderate blood sugar response. But don't throw away those seeds. Pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas, are nutritional powerhouses in their own right. They're rich in magnesium, a mineral that plays a crucial role in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including those involved in glucose metabolism and insulin function. Some studies suggest that magnesium deficiency is linked to insulin resistance and poor blood sugar control, so getting adequate magnesium from foods like pumpkin seeds may help support healthy glucose regulation. The seeds also contain zinc, iron, and healthy fats. When you eat pumpkin flesh and seeds together, maybe roasted pumpkin chunks with toasted pepitas on top, you're combining the blood sugar steadying fiber of the flesh with the mineral-rich, satiating properties of the seeds. It's a perfect example of how whole foods, used completely, offer benefits that are greater than the sum of their parts. From the beta-glucan gel in your morning oatmeal to the resistant starch in your lunchtime lentil soup, from the pectin in an afternoon apple to the unique fiber in chia seed pudding, these foods are working to keep your blood glucose steady, your digestion smooth, and your energy levels balanced throughout the day. There's something deeply reassuring about knowing that the foods we've been eating for generations, oats, apples, beans, pumpkin, have been supporting our bodies in these fundamental ways all along, whether we understood the science behind it or not. Rest in that knowledge. Let it settle over you like a comfortable blanket. Your body knows what to do with these foods. It's been doing it for thousands of years. We move now into the realm of vegetables, those colorful, often underappreciated foods that possess some of the most powerful protective compounds found in nature. This section is about detoxification, cellular protection, and the control of inflammation, that underlying process linked to so many chronic health conditions. But don't worry about memorizing anything. Just let these facts wash over you, one by one, like gentle waves on a shore. Let's begin with broccoli, a vegetable that many of us were told to eat as children, perhaps without knowing why it mattered so much. Broccoli contains a compound called sulforaphane, and this substance is genuinely remarkable. Sulforaphane is formed when you chew broccoli. The act of chewing or chopping breaks down cell walls and allows an enzyme called myrosinase to convert a precursor compound called glucoraphanin into active sulforaphane. Once in your body, sulforaphane activates a cellular defense system known as the NRF2 pathway. Think of this pathway as your cell's emergency response team. When activated, it triggers the production of antioxidant enzymes and detoxification proteins that help neutralize harmful substances and protect against oxidative stress. Research has shown that sulforaphane may help protect against certain types of cancer, support brain health, reduce inflammation, and even influence gene expression in beneficial ways. The concentration of these compounds is highest in broccoli sprouts, those tiny, tender shoots that look almost like alfalfa sprouts, where sulforaphane can be 10 to 100 times more concentrated than in mature broccoli. But even regular broccoli, steamed lightly or eaten raw, provides meaningful amounts of this protective compound. Every floret is like a tiny factory producing molecules designed to help your body defend itself. Broccoli isn't alone in its power. It belongs to a family of vegetables called cruciferous vegetables, which includes cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, cabbage, bok choy, and more. And here's something fascinating. These vegetables don't just deliver protective compounds to your cells, they also feed and shape your gut microbiome. The fiber in cruciferous vegetables, combined with their unique sulfur-containing compounds called glucosinolates, creates an environment in your gut that favors beneficial bacteria. Some research suggests that regularly eating cruciferous vegetables can increase the diversity of your gut microbiome, and a diverse microbiome is generally associated with better health outcomes. These vegetables also contain compounds that may help the liver process and eliminate toxins more efficiently. It's a two-pronged approach, supporting the detoxification organs directly while simultaneously nurturing the microbial community that influences so many aspects of health. Cabbage deserves special attention. This humble, inexpensive vegetable has been a staple food across cultures for centuries, and for good reason. Cabbage is high in fiber, both soluble and insoluble, which supports digestive health and helps maintain steady blood sugar levels. But it also contains those same sulfur compounds found in other cruciferous vegetables, particularly compounds called isothiocyanates that form when the vegetable is cut or chewed. These sulfur compounds give cabbage its characteristic aroma when cooked, but more importantly, they support the body's natural detoxification processes. Cabbage also contains vitamin C, vitamin K, and various antioxidants. Red or purple cabbage contains anthocyanins, the same compounds that give berries their color and contribute to heart health and cognitive function. Whether you're eating it raw in coleslaw, fermented in sauerkraut, or gently sautéed, cabbage is working quietly to support your body's defenses. Now let's talk about spinach, that leafy green vegetable famous in popular culture, but often underestimated in real life. Spinach is extraordinarily rich in nutrients. Vitamins A, C, and K, folate, iron, calcium, and magnesium all packed into tender green leaves. But what makes spinach particularly interesting for blood and vascular health is its combination of nitrates, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds. The nitrates in spinach, yes, the same compounds people sometimes worry about in processed meats, are actually beneficial when they come from vegetables. Your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax and dilate blood vessels, improving blood flow and potentially lowering blood pressure. Spinach also contains lutein and zeaxanthin, carotenoids that protect eye health, and compounds that may help reduce oxidative stress in blood vessels. There's a reason Popeye reached for spinach when he needed strength. Though the cartoon exaggerated the iron content due to a decimal point error in early nutritional data, the vegetable's overall contribution to vitality and vascular health is very real. Beet greens, those leafy tops attached to beetroot that many people discard, are actually more nutritionally dense than the beetroot itself. Like spinach, beet greens are exceptionally high in nitrates. In fact, beet greens and beetroot are among the highest dietary sources of nitrates available. When you consume these nitrates, they're converted in your body through a series of steps into nitric oxide. This nitric oxide then signals your blood vessels to relax and expand, which improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and enhances the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your tissues. The effect can be quite pronounced. Some studies have measured significant reductions in blood pressure within just a few hours of consuming nitrate-rich vegetables or beet juice. It's like giving your cardiovascular system a gentle tune-up with every serving. This brings us to an interesting application of those same nitrates: athletic performance. Athletes and exercise scientists have become increasingly interested in beetroot juice and beet greens because of their ability to improve exercise efficiency and endurance. The nitric oxide produced from dietary nitrates appears to make the mitochondria, those energy-producing structures in your cells, work more efficiently. This means your muscles can produce the same amount of energy while using less oxygen, which translates to improved stamina and reduced fatigue during exercise. Studies have shown that consuming beetroot juice before exercise can extend time to exhaustion, improve performance in time trials, and enhance recovery. You don't have to be an elite athlete to benefit from this effect. Anyone engaging in physical activity, from gardening to walking to more intense exercise, may find that regularly including beet greens or beetroot in their diet makes those activities feel slightly easier and more sustainable. Carrots are so familiar, so everyday, that we sometimes forget to appreciate them. These bright orange roots, though they also come in purple, yellow, red, and white varieties, are one of the richest sources of beta-carotene available. Beta-carotene is a carotenoid, a pigment that gives carrots their orange color, and it's a precursor to vitamin A. Your body converts beta-carotene into active vitamin A as needed, using it to support vision, immune function, skin health, and cellular growth and differentiation. The classic association between carrots and eye health isn't just folklore. Vitamin A is essential for the production of rhodopsin, a pigment in your retinas that helps you see in low light conditions. A deficiency in vitamin A can lead to night blindness and other vision problems, but beta-carotene also acts as an antioxidant, helping to neutralize free radicals and protect cells from oxidative damage. Interestingly, Your body absorbs beta-carotene more efficiently when carrots are cooked and eaten with a small amount of fat, since beta-carotene is fat-soluble. A drizzle of olive oil on roasted carrots isn't just delicious, it's helping your body access the nutrients inside. We've already talked about sweet potatoes in the context of blood sugar control, but they deserve mention here as well because of their impressive beta-carotene content. In fact, sweet potatoes contain even more beta-carotene than carrots. One medium sweet potato can provide more than 400% of your daily vitamin A needs. That vibrant orange color is your visual clue to the carotenoids within. Sweet potatoes also contain anthocyanins, particularly in the purple varieties, and various antioxidants that help combat inflammation and oxidative stress. They're a perfect example of how one food can serve multiple roles, providing steady energy through complex carbohydrates, while simultaneously delivering powerful protective compounds that support your immune system, vision, and cellular health. Let's turn our attention now to eggplant, specifically the deep purple skin of eggplant. That glossy dark skin contains a potent antioxidant called nasunin, which belongs to the anthocyanin family. Nasunin is particularly effective at protecting cell membranes from oxidative damage, especially the membranes of brain cells. It's also been shown to help prevent the formation of new blood vessels that feed tumors, a process called angiogenesis, which has made it of interest in cancer research. Additionally, nasunin may help remove excess iron from the body, which is important because while we need iron for many functions, too much iron can generate free radicals and contribute to oxidative stress. Eggplant flesh itself is very low in calories and contains fiber, potassium, and various B vitamins, but that skin, often peeled away and discarded, is where much of the antioxidant power resides. When you roast or grill eggplant with the skin on, you're preserving those beneficial compounds and adding a slightly earthy, complex flavor to your meal. Finally, let's consider green peas, those small, sweet spheres that roll around your plate. Green peas might seem simple, even childlike, but they're nutritional gems. For eye health, peas are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, the same carotenoids found in spinach. These compounds concentrate in the macula of your eye, where they act like natural sunglasses, filtering harmful blue light and protecting against age-related macular degeneration and cataracts. Peas also contain a variety of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, including coumestrol, a polyphenol that's been studied for its potential heart protective effects. And despite their sweetness, peas have a relatively low glycemic index and provide both protein and fiber, making them satisfying and blood sugar friendly. They're also a source of vitamin K, which plays a crucial role in blood clotting and bone health. Whether you're eating them fresh in spring, frozen year-round, or dried and split in a warming soup, green peas are quietly delivering nutrients that protect your eyes, support your heart, and reduce inflammation throughout your body. From the sulforaphane in broccoli activating your cellular defense systems, to the nasunin in eggplant skin protecting your brain cells, from the nitrates in beet greens improving your circulation, to the lutein in peas guarding your vision, vegetables are doing far more than just filling space on your plate. They're actively working to reduce inflammation, support detoxification, and defend your cells against damage. And they do it all quietly, without fanfare, simply by being what they are. Rest easy knowing that every time you include vegetables in your meals, you're giving your body the tools it needs to protect and heal itself. We arrive now at a category of foods that are often used in small amounts but carry disproportionately large effects: herbs and spices. These are the flavor makers, the seasonings that transform a simple meal into something memorable. But beyond their culinary magic, herbs and spices contain some of the most concentrated bioactive compounds found anywhere in the plant kingdom. Let's explore these aromatic allies, one at a time, and discover what they're really doing when they touch your tongue and enter your body. Garlic. Just the word conjures up a specific pungent aroma, sharp, warming, unmistakable. Garlic has been used for thousands of years, both as food and medicine, appearing in ancient Egyptian texts, Greek literature, and traditional healing systems across the world. The key compound in garlic is called allicin, though interestingly, allicin doesn't actually exist in intact garlic cloves. It's only created when garlic is crushed, chopped, or chewed. The damage to the garlic cells allows an enzyme called alliinase to convert a sulfur-containing compound called alliin into allicin. This is why recipes often tell you to crush or mince garlic and let it sit for a few minutes before cooking. You're giving the allicin time to form. Once formed, allicin is responsible for many of garlic's health benefits. It has antimicrobial properties, meaning it can help fight bacteria, viruses, and fungi. It supports cardiovascular health by helping to lower blood pressure and reduce cholesterol levels. Some research suggests allicin may improve the flexibility of blood vessels and reduce the formation of arterial plaque. Garlic also appears to have immune-boosting effects, which is why it's often recommended during cold and flu season. That distinctive smell, the one that lingers on your breath and fingers, is essentially the aroma of sulfur compounds doing their medicinal work. Cooking garlic reduces some of allicin's potency, which is why raw garlic, though more intense, offers the strongest effects. But even cooked garlic retains beneficial compounds and contributes to overall health while making your food deeply satisfying. Now let's talk about turmeric, that golden orange spice that gives curry its characteristic color and has become almost synonymous with anti-inflammatory diets. Turmeric root contains a compound called curcumin, which is responsible for both the spice's vibrant hue and most of its medicinal properties. Curcumin is a powerful anti-inflammatory agent working at the molecular level to block the activity of inflammatory enzymes and signaling molecules in your body. Chronic inflammation is increasingly recognized as a contributing factor to heart disease, cancer, metabolic syndrome, Alzheimer's disease, and various degenerative conditions, so anything that safely reduces inflammation is of tremendous interest. Curcumin also acts as an antioxidant, neutralizing free radicals and stimulating your body's own antioxidant defenses. Studies have shown that curcumin may help reduce pain and stiffness in people with arthritis, support brain health by increasing levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that promotes the survival of nerve cells, and even influence mood by affecting neurotransmitter systems. The challenge with curcumin is that it's not easily absorbed by the body. Most of it passes through your digestive system without entering your bloodstream, which brings us to an important discovery about how to make turmeric more effective. Black pepper. On its own, black pepper is valued for its sharp, pungent flavor, the heat that makes you sneeze if you inhale it, the bite that wakes up a bland dish. But black pepper contains a compound called piperine, and piperine does something remarkable. It dramatically enhances the absorption of many nutrients and compounds, including curcumin from turmeric. Piperine works by inhibiting certain enzymes in your liver and intestinal wall that would otherwise break down and eliminate compounds before they can be absorbed. It essentially slows down your body's detoxification processes just enough to allow beneficial compounds more time to enter your bloodstream. This doesn't just apply to curcumin. Piperine can enhance the absorption of various vitamins, minerals, and plant compounds. It's why black pepper has been called the bioavailability enhancer and why it appears in many supplement formulations. But you don't need supplements to benefit from this effect. Simply adding black pepper to your cooking provides this advantage naturally. This brings us to one of the most elegant examples of food synergy: turmeric combined with black pepper. When you consume these two spices together, the piperine in black pepper increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. Yes, 2,000%, that's not a typo. This dramatic increase means that the relatively small amount of curcumin you'd get from a teaspoon of turmeric in your curry or golden milk becomes far more bioavailable and therapeutically relevant when you add just a pinch of black pepper. Traditional cuisines that use turmeric, particularly in India and Southeast Asia, often include black pepper in the same dishes, not because ancient cooks understood biochemistry, but because the combination tastes good and was observed to have beneficial effects. Science is now catching up to what traditional wisdom already knew. When you season your food with both turmeric and black pepper, you're not just layering flavors, you're creating a synergistic partnership where each spice makes the other more effective. It's a beautiful reminder that whole foods, combined thoughtfully, can achieve effects that isolated compounds and pills simply cannot replicate. Let's shift now to the Mediterranean herbs: basil, oregano, and thyme. These aromatic leaves, whether fresh or dried, are kitchen staples in many parts of the world. But beyond their ability to make tomato sauce sing or roasted vegetables come alive, these herbs contain essential oils and compounds with genuine antimicrobial properties. Basil contains eugenol and other phenolic compounds that have been shown to inhibit the growth of various bacteria and fungi. Oregano is particularly potent. Its essential oil contains carvacrol and thymol, compounds with such strong antimicrobial effects that oregano oil is sometimes used as a natural preservative or even as an alternative to antibiotics in animal agriculture. Thyme, too, contains thymol, which has been used historically as an antiseptic. When you cook with these herbs, you're not getting the concentrated doses found in essential oils, but you are introducing compounds that may help maintain a healthy balance of microbes in your gut, potentially discouraging the growth of harmful bacteria while not significantly disturbing beneficial ones. These herbs also contribute antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds to your diet. Fresh basil added to a salad, dried oregano sprinkled on pizza, thyme infused in a soup. Each addition is a small but meaningful contribution to your body's defenses. And there's something deeply satisfying about knowing that the herbs you grow on your windowsill or keep dried in your cupboard are doing more than just pleasing your palate. Finally, let's consider parsley, that bright green herb often relegated to the role of garnish, but deserving of much more respect. Parsley is extraordinarily rich in vitamin K. Just 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley provide more than your entire daily requirement. Vitamin K is essential for blood clotting and bone health, activating proteins that help calcium bind to bone tissue. But parsley also contains compounds called furanocoumarins and flavonoids that have antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. And here's something interesting. Parsley is another source of dietary nitrates, similar to spinach and beet greens. Those nitrates, when converted to nitric oxide in your body, help relax blood vessels and improve circulation. Parsley also contains compounds that may have mild diuretic effects, meaning they can help your body eliminate excess water, and it's been used traditionally to support kidney function and freshen breath. Hence its common appearance as a garnish alongside meals containing garlic or onions. Whether you're chopping it into tabbouleh, blending it into chimichurri, or yes, even using it as a garnish that you actually eat, parsley brings a fresh, slightly peppery flavor along with a concentrated dose of nutrients and beneficial compounds. So there you have it, those small but mighty ingredients that have been treasured across cultures and throughout history. From garlic's allicin-fighting microbes and supporting your heart, to turmeric and black pepper working together to deliver powerful anti-inflammatory benefits. From Mediterranean herbs offering antimicrobial protection to parsley, providing vitamin K and circulation-boosting nitrates. These aromatic plants are working in your body at the molecular level, influencing everything from inflammation to nutrient absorption to vascular health. The best part is that using them requires no special effort. You're probably already reaching for them when you cook, guided by taste and tradition. Now you can also appreciate the invisible work they're doing with every pinch, every sprinkle, every fresh leaf torn and scattered over your meal. Rest in the knowledge that flavor and health are not opposing forces. They're partners, collaborating to nourish both your senses and your cells. We continue our journey now into a category of foods that has captured tremendous attention in recent years: antioxidants and anti-inflammatory superfoods. These are foods rich in compounds that help neutralize free radicals, those unstable molecules that can damage cells and contribute to aging and disease. They're foods that quiet inflammation, support cellular repair, and provide your body with the raw materials it needs to maintain and protect itself. Let's explore these colorful, flavorful foods one by one and discover what makes each of them special. Tomatoes. Whether sliced fresh on a sandwich, simmered into sauce, or roasted until their sugars caramelize, tomatoes are a cornerstone of cuisines around the world. The compound that makes tomatoes particularly interesting from a health perspective is lycopene, the carotenoid pigment responsible for their red color. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that has been extensively studied for its potential to reduce the risk of certain cancers, particularly prostate cancer, and to support cardiovascular health. What makes lycopene especially fascinating is that it becomes more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked and combined with fat. Fresh tomatoes are wonderful and nutritious, but when you cook tomatoes, turning them into sauce, paste, or soup, the heat breaks down cell walls and makes the lycopene easier for your body to absorb. Adding olive oil or another fat source enhances absorption even further because lycopene is fat soluble. This is one of those happy instances where processed food, in the form of tomato sauce or paste, can actually deliver more of a beneficial compound than the raw version. Italian and Mediterranean cuisine seem to have intuited this, with their traditional preparations of cooked tomatoes dressed in olive oil appearing in countless dishes. Every serving of marinara sauce or bowl of tomato soup is delivering not just comfort and flavor, but also antioxidant protection for your cells. Watermelon shares something important with tomatoes. It too contains lycopene, which is why the flesh of watermelon is that beautiful pink-red color. In fact, watermelon can contain even more lycopene per serving than raw tomatoes. But watermelon offers something else that's unique, an amino acid called citrulline. Watermelon is one of the richest natural sources of citrulline, which your body converts into another amino acid called arginine. Arginine is then used to produce nitric oxide, that same molecule we've discussed before that helps relax blood vessels and improve circulation. Some research suggests that consuming watermelon or watermelon juice can reduce muscle soreness after exercise, improve recovery, and even lower blood pressure. Interestingly, citrulline is most concentrated in the white rind of watermelon, the part most people discard. Some adventurous eaters pickle the rind or blend it into smoothies to capture those additional benefits. Whether you're eating watermelon on a hot summer day for refreshment or including it in your diet for its nutritional benefits, you're getting hydration, natural sugars for energy, lycopene for antioxidant protection, and citrulline to support your vascular system, all in one juicy, sweet package. Now let's talk about berries. Strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and all their relatives. Berries are among the most antioxidant-rich foods available, packed with compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give berries their deep red, blue, and purple hues, and their powerful antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties. Anthocyanins have been studied for their effects on brain health, with research suggesting they may help slow cognitive decline and improve memory. They appear to protect neurons from oxidative stress, reduce inflammation in the brain, and may even encourage the growth of new neural connections. Berries also contain other beneficial compounds like ellagic acid, which has been studied for its potential anti-cancer properties, and various vitamins and fiber. The beauty of berries is that they're relatively low in sugar compared to many other fruits, yet intensely flavorful and satisfying. A handful of blueberries on your morning oatmeal, or a bowl of mixed berries as an afternoon snack, provides a substantial dose of these protective compounds without causing a significant blood sugar spike. Strawberries deserve their own moment because, beyond their anthocyanin content, they've been specifically studied for heart protection. Research has shown that regular strawberry consumption is associated with reduced levels of LDL cholesterol and decreased markers of inflammation. Strawberries contain a compound called fisetin, a flavonoid with potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Some animal studies have suggested that fisetin may have anti-aging effects at the cellular level and could support brain health. Strawberries are also an excellent source of vitamin C. Just 1 cup provides more than your entire daily requirement, and vitamin C itself is an important antioxidant and is necessary for collagen production, immune function, and the absorption of iron from plant foods. When you bite into a ripe, sweet strawberry, you're tasting the culmination of all these compounds working together: the natural sugars, the tartness from organic acids, the complexity from aromatic compounds, and underneath it all, the quiet work of phytonutrients supporting your cardiovascular system and protecting your cells. Citrus fruits, oranges, grapefruits, lemons, limes, tangerines are famous for their vitamin C content. but they also contain a flavonoid called hesperidin, found primarily in the white pith and membranes that people often try to remove. Hesperidin has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects and may help strengthen blood vessels, reduce blood pressure, and improve cholesterol levels. It works synergistically with vitamin C, each compound enhancing the effects of the other. This is why eating whole citrus fruits or including some of that bitter white pith in your orange segments may provide benefits beyond what you'd get from just drinking citrus juice, which typically has the fiber and pith removed. The combination of vitamin C, hesperidin, other flavonoids, and fiber makes whole citrus fruits a package deal for supporting immune function, reducing inflammation, and protecting cardiovascular health. Even the aroma of citrus, those essential oils released when you zest a lemon or peel an orange, contains compounds like limonene that have been studied for their potential anti-cancer and mood-lifting properties. Onions make you cry, but they also deliver quercetin, one of the most well-studied flavonoids in nutrition science. Quercetin is a powerful antioxidant with anti-inflammatory, antihistamine, and immune-supporting properties. It's found in the outer layers of onions, particularly in red onions, which contain higher concentrations than white or yellow varieties. Quercetin has been studied for its potential to reduce allergy symptoms by stabilizing the cells that release histamine, to support cardiovascular health by improving blood vessel function, and even to have antiviral properties. Onions also contain sulfur compounds similar to those in garlic, which contribute to their pungent aroma and provide additional health benefits. Those sulfur compounds are what make you cry when you cut an onion. They're released as a defense mechanism when the onion cells are damaged, but when consumed, they support your body's detoxification systems. Whether you're eating raw onions in a salad, caramelized onions on a sandwich, or onions as the aromatic base of a soup or stew, you're adding layers of flavor along with compounds that actively fight inflammation and support your immune system. Let's talk about olives, those small, briny fruits that have been cultivated around the Mediterranean for thousands of years. Olives contain a bitter compound called oleuropein, which is especially concentrated in unripe green olives. Oleuropein is a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound that has been studied for its potential cardiovascular benefits, including the ability to lower blood pressure, reduce oxidative stress, and improve cholesterol levels. It may also have antimicrobial properties and could support bone health. The process of curing olives, soaking them in brine or salt, reduces the bitterness of oleuropein but doesn't eliminate it entirely, so cured olives still provide some of these benefits. Olives are also rich in healthy monounsaturated fats, primarily oleic acid, the same fat found in high concentrations in olive oil. These fats support heart health and help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins and other nutrients. A handful of olives as a snack or scattered over a salad brings healthy fats, antioxidants, and that distinctively savory, complex flavor that has made them a treasured food for millennia. This brings us naturally to extra virgin olive oil, perhaps the most celebrated component of the Mediterranean diet. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, but what makes it particularly special compared to other oils are the polyphenols it contains. These polyphenols, including hydroxytyrosol, tyrosol, and oleocanthal, are powerful antioxidants with anti-inflammatory properties. Oleocanthal in particular has a structure similar to ibuprofen and produces that slight peppery burn in the back of your throat when you taste high-quality extra virgin olive oil. That burn is actually a sign of freshness and polyphenol content. Studies have shown that regular consumption of extra virgin olive oil is associated with reduced risk of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and various inflammatory conditions. The polyphenols in olive oil protect LDL cholesterol from oxidation, a key step in the development of atherosclerosis, and they may improve the function of blood vessels, reduce blood pressure, and decrease inflammation throughout the body. It's important to choose extra virgin olive oil rather than refined olive oil because the refining process removes most of these beneficial polyphenols. And because polyphenols degrade over time and with exposure to light and heat, it's best to store olive oil in a dark bottle, use it within a year of production, and add it to foods after cooking when possible, or cook at moderate temperatures. Drizzling extra virgin olive oil over vegetables, using it in salad dressings, or dipping bread into it isn't just delicious. It's one of the simplest and most effective ways to incorporate potent anti-inflammatory compounds into your daily diet. Hazelnuts, those sweet, buttery nuts that are delicious on their own or ground into spreads, offer a unique combination of antioxidant compounds and healthy fats. Hazelnuts are particularly rich in vitamin E, a fat-soluble antioxidant that protects cell membranes from oxidative damage. They also contain proanthocyanidins, the same type of antioxidants found in grape seeds and dark chocolate, which have been studied for their cardiovascular benefits. The fats in hazelnuts are primarily monounsaturated, similar to those in olive oil and olives, and they help reduce LDL cholesterol while maintaining or even increasing HDL cholesterol, the beneficial kind. Hazelnuts also provide folate, magnesium, and copper. Eating a small handful of hazelnuts as a snack provides sustained energy from healthy fats and protein, along with that satisfying rich flavor and a substantial dose of antioxidants working to protect your cells. Prunes, dried plums, have an old-fashioned reputation, often associated with digestive health in older adults. And yes, prunes are indeed effective for supporting regularity thanks to their fiber content and natural sorbitol. But prunes also have another, less well-known benefit: bone strength. Research has shown that regular consumption of prunes can help maintain and even improve bone density, potentially reducing the risk of osteoporosis. The mechanism isn't entirely clear, but it appears to involve prunes' effects on reducing inflammation and oxidative stress in bone tissue, as well as their content of vitamin K, boron, and various polyphenolic compounds. Some studies have found that eating just 5 to 6 prunes daily can have measurable effects on bone health over time. Prunes are also high in antioxidants, surprisingly high actually, ranking among the top dried fruits in antioxidant capacity. They provide quick energy from natural sugars while delivering fiber that slows the absorption of those sugars. Whether you eat them as a snack, chop them into oatmeal, or use them in savory dishes like Moroccan tagines, prunes are working to support your digestive health and strengthen your bones with every chewy, sweet bite. Mango, that golden tropical fruit with its uniquely sweet and slightly resinous flavor, is another excellent source of beta-carotene and vitamin A, similar to carrots and sweet potatoes. 1 cup of mango provides about a quarter of your daily vitamin A needs, supporting vision, immune function, and skin health. Mangoes also contain vitamin C, various B vitamins, and an enzyme called amylase that helps break down carbohydrates and may aid digestion. The combination of soluble fiber, digestive enzymes, and antioxidants makes mango both satisfying and gentle on the digestive system. Mangoes also contain mangiferin, a unique polyphenol found primarily in this fruit, which has been studied for its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and potentially anti-diabetic properties. The flesh near the skin contains higher concentrations of beneficial compounds, so eating mango with some of that slightly fibrous flesh near the peel gives you more nutritional benefit. Whether you're eating fresh mango slices on a hot day, blending frozen mango into a smoothie, or using it in salsas and salads, you're getting tropical sweetness along with compounds that support your immune system and protect your cells. Let's return briefly to nuts and seeds with cashews and pumpkin seeds, both of which are excellent sources of magnesium. Magnesium is a mineral that's involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including those related to energy production, muscle and nerve function, blood sugar control, and blood pressure regulation. Yet many people don't get enough magnesium from their diets. Cashews have a creamy, mild sweetness that makes them incredibly versatile. They're delicious as a snack, blended into dairy-free creams and cheeses, or used in stir-fries and curries. A quarter cup of cashews provides about 20% of your daily magnesium needs, along with healthy fats, protein, copper, and zinc. Pumpkin seeds, which we mentioned earlier for their role alongside pumpkin flesh, are even more concentrated in magnesium. Just 1 ounce provides nearly 40% of your daily requirement. They also provide zinc, iron, and antioxidants. Low magnesium levels have been linked to increased inflammation, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, and various other health issues. So including magnesium-rich foods like cashews and pumpkin seeds in your diet is a simple way to support overall metabolic health. Whether you're snacking on roasted pumpkin seeds, sprinkling them over salads, stirring cashew butter into oatmeal, or creating creamy sauces from blended cashews, you're giving your body this essential mineral in its most bioavailable, delicious form. From the lycopene in tomatoes and watermelon protecting your cells from oxidative damage, to the anthocyanins in berries supporting brain health, from the quercetin in onions fighting inflammation to the polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil protecting your heart, from the unique benefits of prunes for bone strength, to the magnesium in cashews and pumpkin seeds supporting hundreds of metabolic processes. These foods are colorful, flavorful, diverse, and deeply nourishing. They represent cuisines and traditions from around the world: Mediterranean olives and olive oil, tropical mangoes, North American berries, everyday onions and tomatoes. The beauty is that you don't need exotic ingredients or expensive supplements. Many of these foods are probably already in your kitchen, already part of your meals. Now you simply know more about what they're doing beneath the surface. The quiet work of antioxidants neutralizing free radicals, the gentle anti-inflammatory effects that accumulate with each meal, the cellular protection that happens when you choose whole, colorful, plant-rich foods. Rest in that knowledge. Let it settle comfortably. Your body recognizes these foods, these compounds. It knows exactly what to do with them. We move now into the world of beverages and one beloved treat: tea, coffee, and cocoa. These aren't just simple pleasures or morning rituals. They're complex botanical preparations containing compounds that can influence your cardiovascular system, your metabolism, and even your cognitive function. Let's explore these comforting drinks and discover what makes them more than just liquid refreshment. Green tea has been consumed in Asia for thousands of years, valued not only for its delicate, slightly grassy flavor, but also for its perceived health benefits. Modern science has identified the compounds responsible for many of those benefits, a group of antioxidants called catechins. The most abundant and well-studied catechin in green tea is epigallocatechin gallate, mercifully abbreviated as EGCG. EGCG is a remarkably potent antioxidant, more powerful than vitamin C or E in laboratory tests. It appears to work through multiple mechanisms, neutralizing free radicals directly, stimulating your body's own antioxidant defenses, and influencing cellular signaling pathways involved in inflammation and metabolism. Research has shown that regular green tea consumption is associated with improved cardiovascular health, including better blood vessel function, reduced blood pressure, and lower cholesterol levels. Some studies suggest that the catechins in green tea may support weight management by slightly increasing fat oxidation and metabolic rate. Green tea catechins have also been studied for their potential to protect brain cells, reduce cancer risk, and improve insulin sensitivity. The preparation matters. Steeping green tea at too high a temperature or for too long can make it bitter and may actually reduce the bioavailability of some catechins. Steeping at around 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 minutes extracts the beneficial compounds while maintaining that smooth, refreshing taste. Whether you're sipping green tea hot in a quiet morning moment or drinking it chilled in the afternoon, those catechins are circulating through your body, supporting your blood vessels, protecting your cells, and contributing to metabolic health with every cup. Black tea comes from the same plant as green tea, Camellia sinensis, but undergoes a different processing method that involves oxidation, turning the leaves dark and developing more robust, complex flavors. During this oxidation process, the catechins in green tea are converted into different compounds called theaflavins and theorubicins. These are the flavonoids that give black tea its characteristic color and astringency, and they have their own impressive health benefits, particularly for heart health. Studies have shown that regular black tea consumption is associated with reduced risk of heart disease and stroke. The flavonoids in black tea appear to improve the function of the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, helping them relax and dilate properly. They may also reduce LDL cholesterol oxidation, lower blood pressure, and decrease inflammation. Some research suggests that drinking 3 or more cups of black tea daily is associated with significant cardiovascular benefits. Black tea also contains a modest amount of caffeine, less than coffee, but enough to provide gentle mental alertness without the jittery feeling some people experience from stronger caffeine sources. And there's something deeply comforting about a cup of black tea, whether it's English breakfast tea with milk in the morning, Earl Grey in the afternoon, or chai spiced with warming spices. That comfort itself has value, and knowing that each cup is also supporting your heart health makes the ritual even more satisfying. Coffee. For many people, coffee is non-negotiable. The drink that makes mornings possible, that provides a mid-afternoon lift, that accompanies conversation and contemplation. Coffee has sometimes been viewed with suspicion, blame for various health issues, but modern research has largely vindicated this beloved beverage. Coffee is actually one of the largest sources of antioxidants in many people's diets, not because coffee is extraordinarily high in antioxidants per gram, but simply because people drink so much of it. One of the key compounds in coffee is chlorogenic acid, a polyphenol with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Chlorogenic acid appears to influence glucose metabolism, potentially slowing the absorption of carbohydrates and improving insulin sensitivity. This may be one reason why regular coffee consumption has been associated with a reduced risk of type 2 diabetes in numerous studies. Coffee consumption has also been linked to lower risk of Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, liver disease, and certain cancers. The caffeine in coffee provides obvious cognitive benefits: improved alertness, concentration, and reaction time, but coffee contains hundreds of other bioactive compounds beyond just caffeine, and many of these contribute to its health effects. The way coffee is prepared matters somewhat. Unfiltered coffee, like French press or Turkish coffee, contains compounds called diterpenes that can raise cholesterol levels in some people, while filtered coffee removes most of these. But for most people, moderate coffee consumption, generally defined as 3 to 5 cups per day, appears to be not just safe but potentially beneficial. So if you're someone who genuinely enjoys coffee, who looks forward to that morning cup or afternoon espresso, you can take comfort in knowing that your daily ritual is doing more than just waking you up. It's delivering antioxidants, supporting your metabolism, and may even be protecting your brain and liver with every aromatic sip. Now let's talk about cocoa, the ground seeds of the cacao tree that give us chocolate, one of humanity's most treasured foods. Cocoa is extraordinarily rich in flavanols, a type of flavonoid with remarkable effects on insulin sensitivity and metabolic health. Cocoa flavanols have been shown to improve the body's ability to use insulin effectively, which means cells can take up glucose from the bloodstream more efficiently. This is significant because insulin resistance, when cells become less responsive to insulin, is a central feature of type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Studies have found that regular consumption of flavanol-rich cocoa can improve insulin sensitivity, reduce fasting blood sugar levels, and decrease markers of inflammation. Cocoa flavanols also appear to influence fat metabolism and may help reduce the accumulation of visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat that's most strongly associated with metabolic problems. The effects are modest but meaningful, especially when cocoa is consumed as part of an overall healthy diet. It's worth noting that the cocoa content matters tremendously. Milk chocolate contains relatively little cocoa and a lot of sugar, while dark chocolate with high cocoa content provides far more flavanols, and cocoa powder, particularly unsweetened cocoa powder, is even more concentrated. Adding cocoa powder to smoothies, oatmeal, or using it in cooking delivers these metabolic benefits without the added sugar and fat found in chocolate bars. This brings us naturally to dark chocolate and cocoa flavanols, which deserve their own moment because the research on dark chocolate and cardiovascular health is so compelling. Dark chocolate, typically defined as chocolate containing 70% or more cocoa solids, is rich in flavanols that have been shown to improve blood flow, lower blood pressure, reduce arterial stiffness, and improve cholesterol profiles. The mechanism involves the production of nitric oxide, that same molecule we've encountered before in the context of beets and leafy greens. Cocoa flavanols stimulate the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels to produce more nitric oxide, which causes the vessels to relax and dilate, improving circulation throughout your body. This effect can be measured within just a couple of hours of consuming dark chocolate or cocoa. Studies have shown that people who regularly consume moderate amounts of dark chocolate have lower rates of heart disease and stroke. Dark chocolate also contains magnesium, iron, copper, and other minerals, along with fiber if you're eating chocolate with high cocoa content. The key is moderation and choosing chocolate with high cocoa content and relatively low sugar. A small square or two of 70 to 85% dark chocolate after dinner provides satisfaction, a dose of flavanols for your cardiovascular system, and that deep, complex, slightly bitter chocolate flavor that true chocolate lovers appreciate. It's one of the rare instances where something that feels indulgent is actually supporting your health, as long as you're not eating half a chocolate bar at a time, but rather savoring small amounts mindfully. Tea, coffee, and cocoa, beverages and foods we turn to for pleasure, comfort, and energy. From the catechins in green tea protecting your cells and supporting metabolism, to the flavonoids in black tea improving your heart health, from the chlorogenic acids in coffee enhancing insulin sensitivity and potentially protecting your brain, to the flavanols in cocoa improving your metabolic health, and the dark chocolate that brings those flavanols while supporting your cardiovascular system. These aren't empty calories or guilty pleasures. They're complex botanical preparations that humans have been consuming and treasuring for centuries. And now we understand more clearly why they've earned their place in our daily lives. Whether you're someone who reaches for green tea in the morning, black tea in the afternoon, coffee throughout the day, or dark chocolate as an evening treat, you can rest assured that these choices are doing more than just satisfying your taste buds. They're supporting your blood vessels, protecting your cells, enhancing your metabolism, and contributing to long-term health. Settle into that knowledge. Let it be as comforting as the beverages themselves. We arrive now at two interconnected topics: healthy fats that support your heart and brain, and protein-rich foods that build and repair your body. These are essential nutrients, the building blocks and fuel sources that keep you functioning day after day. Let's explore these foods with the same gentle attention we've given everything else, understanding what makes them valuable and how they work within your body. Let's begin with salmon, one of the most celebrated sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Salmon, particularly wild-caught varieties, is rich in two specific omega-3 fats, EPA and DHA, eicosapentaenoic acid and docosahexaenoic acid. These long-chain omega-3 fats are profoundly important for human health. DHA is a major structural component of your brain, making up a significant portion of the fatty acids in brain cell membranes. It's essential for cognitive function, memory, and mood regulation. EPA, meanwhile, is particularly effective at reducing inflammation throughout the body. Both EPA and DHA support cardiovascular health through multiple mechanisms. They reduce triglyceride levels, lower blood pressure slightly, decrease the tendency for blood to clot excessively, reduce inflammation in blood vessel walls, and may help stabilize heart rhythm. Study after study has shown that people who regularly consume fatty fish like salmon have lower rates of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. The American Heart Association recommends eating fatty fish at least twice a week. Beyond omega-3s, Salmon provides high-quality protein, B vitamins including B12, selenium, and astaxanthin, a carotenoid that gives salmon its pink color and acts as a powerful antioxidant. Whether you're eating grilled salmon, baked salmon, or even canned salmon, which includes the small, soft bones that provide calcium, you're giving your body fats that it cannot produce on its own, fats that are fundamental to the structure and function of every cell, particularly those in your brain and cardiovascular system. Walnuts offer something unique in the nut world. They're one of the few plant foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Specifically, walnuts contain alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which is a shorter-chain omega-3 fat that your body can partially convert into EPA and DHA. The conversion rate is relatively low. Typically, only about 5 to 10% of ALA gets converted into EPA and even less into DHA. But regular walnut consumption still provides meaningful benefits. Studies have shown that eating walnuts regularly is associated with improved cholesterol levels, better blood vessel function, reduced inflammation, and lower risk of heart disease. Walnuts are also rich in polyphenols, particularly L-argintannins, which your gut bacteria convert into compounds called urolithins that have anti-inflammatory and potentially longevity-promoting effects. The combination of omega-3 fats, polyphenols, vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber makes walnuts one of the most nutrient-dense nuts available. Just a small handful, about an ounce, or roughly 14 walnut halves, provides a substantial portion of your daily omega-3 needs, along with healthy calories from fats and protein. The slightly bitter, earthy flavor of walnuts pairs beautifully with sweet foods like honey or fruit, but they're equally at home in savory dishes, sprinkled over salads, or eaten plain as a satisfying snack that supports both heart and brain health. We've talked about olives and oleuropein before, but it's worth mentioning them again here in the context of healthy fats. Olives and olive oil are cornerstones of the Mediterranean diet, which is consistently ranked as one of the healthiest dietary patterns in the world. The monounsaturated fats in olives, primarily oleic acid, support cardiovascular health by improving cholesterol ratios and reducing inflammation. Combined with the polyphenols and oleuropein we discussed earlier, olives represent a perfect package: healthy fats for nutrient absorption and cell membrane structure, antioxidants for cellular protection, and compounds that specifically support heart health and reduce inflammation. It's no wonder that regions where olive oil is consumed liberally have some of the lowest rates of heart disease in the world. Now let's talk about something a bit more unusual: aged black garlic. Regular garlic, as we've discussed, contains allicin and various sulfur compounds. But when garlic is aged under controlled conditions of heat and humidity for several weeks, it undergoes a transformation. The cloves turn black, the texture becomes soft and almost jelly-like, and the flavor becomes sweet, mellow, and complex, almost like balsamic vinegar or tamarind, with none of the harsh sharpness of raw garlic. During this aging process, the allicin in garlic converts into stable water-soluble compounds called S-allylcysteine, or SAC. SAC is a particularly bioavailable and stable form of garlic's beneficial sulfur compounds, and it has been studied extensively for its effects on cardiovascular health and longevity. Research suggests that SAC has powerful antioxidant properties, can help lower cholesterol and blood pressure, may protect against atherosclerosis, and could even have neuroprotective effects. Some studies in animals have shown that aged garlic extract can extend lifespan and improve various markers of aging, though human studies are still ongoing. Aged black garlic is easier to digest than raw garlic, doesn't cause the same pungent breath, and can be eaten in larger quantities. You can spread it on toast, add it to sauces, or even eat whole cloves as a sweet, savory condiment. It's a perfect example of how traditional food processing techniques, in this case fermentation or aging, can actually enhance the health benefits of an already nutritious food. Let's shift now to protein-rich foods, starting with eggs. Eggs have gone through cycles of being demonized and rehabilitated in nutritional science, but current research suggests that for most people, eggs are an incredibly nutritious food. One whole egg provides about 6 grams of high-quality protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids in the proportions your body needs. But eggs are more than just protein. The yolk is rich in choline, a nutrient that's essential for brain function, liver health, and the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in memory and muscle control. Many people don't get enough choline from their diets, and just one egg provides a substantial portion of your daily needs. Egg yolks also contain lutein and zeaxanthin, those same carotenoids we discussed in relation to eye health in spinach and peas. In fact, the lutein and zeaxanthin in egg yolks may be even more bioavailable than those from plant sources because they're packaged with fat, which enhances absorption. Eggs also provide vitamins A, D, E, and K, B vitamins including B12, selenium, and various other minerals. The cholesterol in eggs, which was once the reason they were restricted in dietary guidelines, is now understood to have minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels for most people, as your liver adjusts its own cholesterol production in response to dietary intake. Whether you're eating scrambled eggs for breakfast, a hard-boiled egg as a snack, or eggs incorporated into baked goods or meals, you're getting complete protein and a concentrated package of nutrients that support brain function, eye health, and overall cellular maintenance. Greek yogurt has become incredibly popular in recent years, and for good reason. Compared to regular yogurt, Greek yogurt is strained to remove much of the whey, resulting in a thicker, creamier texture and roughly double the protein content. A single cup of Greek yogurt can contain 15 to 20 grams of protein, making it as protein-rich as a serving of meat or fish. This high protein content contributes to satiety, the feeling of fullness and satisfaction after eating. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient, meaning it keeps you feeling full longer than carbohydrates or fats alone. When you eat Greek yogurt for breakfast or as a snack, the protein triggers the release of hormones that signal fullness to your brain, potentially helping you consume fewer calories overall without feeling deprived or hungry. This makes Greek yogurt particularly valuable for people trying to manage their weight or simply maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. The protein also provides amino acids for building and repairing tissues throughout your body. Beyond satiety, Greek yogurt's high protein content makes it excellent for bone health and muscle recovery. The protein provides the amino acids necessary for muscle protein synthesis, the process by which your body builds new muscle tissue and repairs damage from exercise or daily activities. This is why many athletes and active individuals include Greek yogurt in their post-workout meals. The calcium in Greek yogurt, typically about 20% of your daily needs per cup, works together with protein to support bone health. Your bones are constantly being remodeled, with old bone broken down and new bone built up, and both calcium and protein are essential for this process. Greek yogurt also contains other bone-supporting nutrients like phosphorus and vitamin D, if fortified. And let's not forget the probiotic bacteria similar to regular yogurt, which support gut health and may enhance nutrient absorption and immune function. Whether you're eating Greek yogurt plain, mixed with fruit and nuts, or using it as a base for smoothies or as a substitute for sour cream in recipes, you're getting high-quality protein that satisfies hunger, supports muscle recovery, and contributes to long-term bone health. This brings us to dairy and bone health more broadly. Dairy products, milk, yogurt, cheese, kefir, are among the most concentrated sources of calcium available, providing not just calcium, but also phosphorus, magnesium, vitamin D when fortified, and vitamin K2 in fermented dairy and certain cheeses. These nutrients work together synergistically to support bone mineralization and strength. Calcium is the primary mineral in bone tissue, but it needs vitamin D to be absorbed efficiently, vitamin K to be directed into bones rather than soft tissues, and phosphorus to form the calcium phosphate crystals that give bones their hardness. The protein in dairy also supports bone health, as we just discussed. Study after study has shown that adequate dairy consumption, particularly during childhood and adolescence when bones are growing rapidly, and again in older adulthood when bone loss accelerates, is associated with higher bone mineral density and reduced risk of osteoporosis and fractures. The recommendation of 3 servings of dairy per day for adults is based on research showing that this amount provides enough calcium and other nutrients to maintain bone health in most people. For those who can't or choose not to consume dairy, it's important to find alternative sources of calcium and ensure adequate vitamin D. But for those who do include dairy in their diets, it remains one of the most efficient and bioavailable sources of these bone-supporting nutrients. A glass of milk with breakfast, yogurt as a snack, cheese on a sandwich. These simple inclusions are quietly supporting the structural integrity of your skeleton, helping ensure that your bones remain strong and resilient as you age. From the omega-3 fats in salmon supporting your brain structure and heart health, to the plant-based omega-3s in walnuts and the stable SAC compounds in aged black garlic supporting cardiovascular health and potentially longevity, from the choline and carotenoids in eggs supporting brain and eye health, to the high-protein satisfaction and bone-supporting nutrients in Greek yogurt and dairy products. These foods are building blocks. They're not flashy or exotic, they're fundamental. Salmon and eggs, walnuts and yogurt, garlic and milk. Simple foods that provide the fats your brain needs to function, the protein your muscles need to repair, and the calcium your bones need to stay strong. There's something deeply reassuring about foods that are both nourishing and familiar. Foods that have sustained human populations for generations and continue to do so today. Rest in that assurance. Let your body receive these nutrients as it was designed to do, incorporating them into cells and tissues, using them to maintain and repair, keeping you functioning day after day with quiet, steady efficiency. We find ourselves now in a curious position, revisiting foods we've already explored, but this time considering them from different angles, appreciating how the same food can serve multiple purposes in your body. It's a reminder that whole foods are complex, containing dozens or even hundreds of compounds working together. each contributing to health in overlapping and synergistic ways. Let's take this opportunity to reflect on these foods once more, deepening our understanding and appreciating their multifaceted nature. Apples. We talked about them earlier in the context of digestion and blood sugar control, focusing on their pectin fiber and polyphenols. But apples deserve recognition as functional foods in their own right, foods that go beyond basic nutrition to provide specific health benefits. That pectin we discussed doesn't just slow sugar absorption, it also acts as a prebiotic, feeding beneficial gut bacteria and contributing to the production of short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support colon health. The polyphenols in apples, particularly concentrated in the skin, have been studied for their potential to reduce cancer risk, support lung function, and even protect against neurodegenerative diseases. There's a reason apples appear in so many traditional sayings and cultural references. They're accessible, affordable, store well, and provide consistent health benefits whether you're eating them fresh, baked, or pressed into unfiltered juice that retains the pulp and fiber. An apple is never just an apple. It's a delivery system for fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and beneficial plant compounds, all wrapped in a convenient, naturally portion-controlled package that you can carry in your pocket or bag and eat anywhere. Pears, too, deserve the second look. We discussed their low glycemic impact and fiber content, but there's more to appreciate. Pears are among the few fruits that actually improve in texture and flavor after being picked. They ripen off the tree, becoming sweeter and softer over several days. This process not only makes them more enjoyable to eat, but also changes their nutritional profile slightly, with some antioxidants increasing during ripening. The combination of soluble and insoluble fiber in pears supports both digestive regularity and cardiovascular health. Pears also contain copper, a trace mineral important for iron absorption and the production of red blood cells, and vitamin K, important for blood clotting and bone health. The gentle sweetness and soft texture of a ripe pear makes it a perfect food for people of all ages, from children to elderly individuals who might struggle with harder, crunchier fruits. There's something deeply satisfying about eating a perfectly ripe pear, juice dripping down your chin, the flesh melting in your mouth. It's sensory pleasure combined with functional nutrition. Mango appears again here, that tropical fruit we discussed in the context of vitamin A and beta-carotene. But mango also contains enzymes, not just amylase, which helps break down carbohydrates, but also small amounts of proteolytic enzymes that can aid protein digestion. In traditional systems of medicine, mango has been valued not just as food, but as a digestive aid. The fiber in mango, particularly in the flesh near the seed and skin, includes both soluble and insoluble types that support gut health and regular elimination. Mangoes also contain galatanins and mangiferin, unique polyphenols that have been studied for their potential anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, and immune-supporting properties. And there's something to be said for the psychological and emotional benefit of eating mango. Its vibrant color, its tropical aroma, its association with warmth and abundance. Food is not just fuel or medicine, it's also pleasure, memory, and comfort. When you eat a mango, you're nourishing not just your body, but also your spirit. Watermelon completes our fruit quartet, that summer staple we discussed for its lycopene and citrulline content. But think about watermelon's other qualities. Its high water content, about 92%, makes it incredibly hydrating, which is particularly valuable in hot weather or after exercise. That hydration comes packaged with natural sugars for energy, electrolytes like potassium, and those beneficial compounds like lycopene and citrulline. Watermelon is also remarkably low in calories despite its sweetness, about 46 calories per cup, making it a satisfying way to enjoy something sweet without consuming excessive energy. The act of eating watermelon, whether in wedges at a picnic or cubed in a fruit salad, often involves some mess, some juice, some seeds to navigate or spit out. It's a tactile, engaging eating experience that can slow you down and make you more mindful of what you're consuming, and that itself has value in a world where so much eating happens quickly, distractedly, on the go. Let's turn now to seeds and nuts, specifically revisiting chia seeds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds, 3 tiny powerhouses that we've mentioned before, but deserve this additional recognition. These seeds represent an interesting category of foods. They're shelf-stable, incredibly nutrient-dense for their size, and versatile in how they can be used. Chia seeds, which we discussed for their gel-forming fiber and omega-3 content, are remarkable for their completeness as a food. Ancient Aztec and Mayan civilizations valued chia as a staple food and used it to sustain warriors and runners on long journeys. Those cultures understood empirically what we now know scientifically, that chia seeds provide sustained energy, help maintain hydration, and deliver nutrients in a compact form. Beyond the omega-3 ALA and soluble fiber we've already discussed, chia seeds provide all 9 essential amino acids, making them a complete protein source, which is relatively rare in plant foods. They're also rich in calcium. 2 tablespoons provide about 18% of your daily needs, as well as magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese. The gel that forms when chia seeds are soaked can be used as an egg replacement in baking, demonstrating how functional ingredients can serve both culinary and nutritional purposes. Whether you're making chia pudding, adding chia to smoothies, or using it in baking, you're incorporating a food that indigenous peoples recognized as essential to vitality and endurance. Flax seeds, which we discussed for their mixed fiber and prebiotic effects, have an ancient history as well. They've been cultivated for thousands of years, with evidence of flax use dating back to ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Flax was valued both for its fibers, which were woven into linen, and for its seeds, which were consumed for health. Those lignans we mentioned briefly, plant compounds with weak estrogen-like effects, are particularly abundant in flax seeds, more so than in almost any other food. These lignans may help balance hormones, support breast and prostate health, and provide antioxidant benefits. Flax seeds must be ground to access their nutrients. Whole flax seeds often pass through the digestive system intact, but once ground, they provide ALA omega-3 fats, fiber, protein, and various vitamins and minerals. Ground flaxseed has a mild, slightly nutty flavor that works well in oatmeal, yogurt, baked goods, or smoothies. It's best stored in the refrigerator or freezer after grinding to prevent the omega-3 fats from oxidizing. This is an example of how a little knowledge about food preparation can significantly increase the nutritional benefit you receive. Taking the time to grind flax seeds transforms them from an indigestible curiosity into a functional food that supports gut health, hormone balance, and cardiovascular function. Pumpkin seeds, or pepitas, appear here for the third time. We've discussed them in the context of blood sugar control alongside pumpkin flesh and as a source of magnesium. But there's more to appreciate about these flat green seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the best plant sources of zinc, a mineral essential for immune function, wound healing, protein synthesis, and DNA synthesis. They're also rich in antioxidants, including carotenoids and vitamin E. Some research suggests that pumpkin seeds may support prostate health and urinary function, possibly due to their phytosterol content and their effects on hormone metabolism. They also contain tryptophan, an amino acid that your body uses to produce serotonin and melatonin, potentially supporting mood and sleep quality. The combination of protein, healthy fats, fiber, and minerals makes pumpkin seeds an exceptionally satiating snack. A small handful can curb hunger for hours. They can be eaten raw or roasted, salted or spiced, added to salads or oatmeal, or ground into a paste. In Mexican cuisine, pumpkin seeds are ground into sauces like pepita sauce or mole verde, incorporating their nutrition and distinctive flavor into complete meals. This demonstrates how traditional cuisines often maximize the use of available foods, extracting nutrition from parts that might otherwise be discarded. In this case, the seeds from inside the pumpkin that many people throw away when carving jack-o'-lanterns. So here we have 8 facts, though really we're revisiting 7 foods we've already discussed: apples, pears, mango, watermelon, chia seeds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. But this repetition is intentional and valuable. It reinforces an important truth about nutrition. Whole foods are not single-purpose items. They don't exist in neat categories where an apple is only about fiber or chia seeds are only about omega-3s. Each whole food is a complex matrix of nutrients, fiber, phytochemicals, and other compounds that work together in ways we're still discovering. An apple supports blood sugar control and feeds your gut bacteria and provides antioxidants and delivers vitamins. Pumpkin seeds provide magnesium and zinc and omega-3s and protein and fiber. This is why focusing on whole foods rather than isolated nutrients or supplements is so powerful. You're getting combinations of compounds that have evolved together that your body recognizes and knows how to use efficiently. There's also something meditative about revisiting these foods, turning them over in your mind like smooth stones, examining them from different angles, appreciating their different facets. In our fast-paced world, we often consume food quickly, barely tasting it, rarely thinking about where it came from or what it's doing inside us. Taking this time to really consider these foods, their history, their composition, their effects on your body, can deepen your relationship with eating and help you make choices that are both conscious and nourishing. Rest in this knowledge. Let it settle. These foods are not complicated despite their complexity. They're simply what they've always been: plants and seeds that grew in soil and sun, that were harvested and prepared, that now sit before you, offering everything they contain. Your body knows what to do with them. It's been doing it for as long as humans have been eating. Let's pause now and revisit some themes that have woven through our journey: fermentation, immunity, and nitrates. These aren't isolated topics, but interconnected aspects of how food supports your body's defenses and performance. Sometimes the most important lessons bear repeating, approached from slightly different angles each time until they settle into understanding. Kimchi and sauerkraut. We've talked about these fermented cabbage preparations before, but their importance to immune health and gut function deserves this additional attention. Fermentation is one of humanity's oldest food preservation techniques, predating refrigeration by thousands of years. What our ancestors discovered through trial and error, that fermented foods kept people healthy, that they seemed to strengthen the body, we now understand at the microbial level. The lactic acid bacteria that flourish during fermentation, primarily Lactobacillus species, are doing several things simultaneously. They're preserving the vegetables by creating an acidic environment hostile to spoilage organisms. They're producing vitamins, particularly vitamin K2 and various B vitamins that weren't present in the original vegetables. They're breaking down compounds that can be difficult to digest, making nutrients more accessible, and they're introducing billions of live bacteria that can temporarily colonize your gut and interact with your immune system. About 70% of your immune system resides in and around your digestive tract, which makes sense when you consider that your gut is where you're most exposed to the outside world through the food you eat. The beneficial bacteria from fermented foods communicate with immune cells in the gut lining, helping to train and modulate your immune response, strengthening defenses against pathogens while preventing overreaction that leads to autoimmune conditions or allergies. Eating fermented foods regularly is like maintaining a dialogue between external beneficial microbes and your internal immune surveillance system, keeping both sides informed and balanced. Fermented cabbage, whether Korean kimchi or German sauerkraut or any other cultural variation, does something particularly important for your gut barrier. The lining of your intestines is only one cell layer thick, a delicate membrane that must allow nutrients to pass through while preventing bacteria, toxins, and undigested food particles from entering your bloodstream. This selective barrier is maintained by tight junctions, protein complexes that seal the spaces between cells. When these tight junctions become loose or damaged, a condition often called leaky gut or increased intestinal permeability can develop, allowing substances through that shouldn't pass, triggering inflammation and potentially contributing to various health problems. The lactic acid bacteria in fermented cabbage produce compounds that actually strengthen these tight junctions, reinforcing your gut barrier. They also produce short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, that feed and nourish the cells lining your colon, keeping them healthy and functional. Some research suggests that the bacteria from fermented vegetables can reduce inflammation in the gut lining and help repair damage. This is profound. A food that was originally created just to preserve cabbage through winter is actively healing and protecting one of your body's most important defensive barriers. When you eat a forkful of sauerkraut or kimchi, you might taste salt, tang, the crunch of cabbage, perhaps the heat of pepper, but underneath that sensory experience, billions of bacteria are being delivered to your digestive system where they'll take up temporary residence, communicate with your immune cells, strengthen your gut barrier, and contribute to the complex ecosystem that influences everything from digestion to mood to disease resistance. Now let's return to beet greens and athletic performance, but this time considering the broader implications beyond just sports. The nitrates in beet greens, beetroot, and other leafy vegetables are converted by bacteria in your mouth and your body into nitric oxide. And nitric oxide does far more than just improve exercise performance. It's a signaling molecule involved in numerous physiological processes. beyond dilating blood vessels and improving circulation, which benefits everyone, not just athletes. Nitric oxide influences immune function, helping immune cells communicate and respond to threats. It plays a role in neurotransmission in the brain. It affects how mitochondria produce energy in every cell of your body. The athletic performance benefits we discussed earlier, improved endurance, reduced oxygen cost of exercise, enhanced recovery, are really just visible manifestations of these deeper cellular effects. When researchers study athletes, they're using a population that pushes their bodies to measurable extremes, making it easier to detect and quantify improvements. But those same mechanisms are operating in everyone. If you're walking through your neighborhood, climbing stairs, gardening, playing with children or grandchildren, carrying groceries, the nitric oxide produced from the nitrates in your last salad is making all of those activities slightly easier, slightly more efficient. Your muscles are using oxygen more effectively. Your cardiovascular system is delivering blood more efficiently. Your cells are producing energy with less waste. This is what functional nutrition looks like. Not dramatic transformations, but steady, incremental improvements in how your body operates, accumulated over meals and days and years until they add up to better health, more vitality, greater resilience. These three topics, fermented foods supporting immunity and gut barrier function, and nitrate-rich vegetables improving cellular efficiency, represent a theme we keep encountering. Foods doing multiple things simultaneously, supporting overlapping systems, creating effects that ripple outward from simple acts of eating. Your immune system, your gut barrier, your cardiovascular system, your cellular energy production. None of these exist in isolation. They're all interconnected, all influenced by what you eat, all responding to the compounds in your food. And the foods that support these systems aren't exotic or expensive. Cabbage fermented in a jar, beet greens from the top of a root vegetable. Simple ingredients, traditional preparations, profound effects. Let's explore now some foods that might be considered special, not everyday staples for most people, but items that have particular therapeutic properties worth knowing about. These are foods with long histories of traditional use, foods that modern science is validating and explaining, foods that add both variety and specific health benefits to your diet. Black tea flavonoids deserve another mention here in the context of therapeutic compounds. We've discussed how black tea supports heart health, but there's something worth emphasizing about the theaflavins and thearubicins formed during the oxidation of tea leaves. These compounds have been studied for their potential to modulate inflammation at the cellular level, influencing the production of inflammatory cytokines and the activity of inflammatory enzymes. Chronic inflammation, as we've mentioned, underlies so many modern diseases: cardiovascular disease, diabetes, arthritis, neurodegenerative conditions, even depression. Having accessible, affordable ways to gently reduce inflammation day after day is tremendously valuable. Black tea is one of those ways. 3 cups a day, perhaps 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening, delivers a steady supply of flavonoids that are quietly working to keep inflammation in check. The ritual of tea drinking itself may contribute to the benefit. The pause, the warmth, the moment of stillness in a busy day. Stress contributes to inflammation, so anything that reduces stress also indirectly reduces inflammation. Black tea offers both direct biochemical effects and indirect psychological benefits. making it a truly therapeutic beverage that's been treasured across cultures for thousands of years. Red wine and resveratrol. This is perhaps one of the most famous and most controversial food-health relationships. Red wine contains resveratrol, a polyphenol found in grape skins that plants produce as a defense against stress, infection, and UV radiation. Resveratrol has been extensively studied and has shown remarkable effects in laboratory settings, activating longevity pathways, protecting cells from oxidative damage, reducing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity, and even extending lifespan in various organisms from yeast to mice. The so-called French paradox, the observation that French people have relatively low rates of heart disease despite diets rich in saturated fat, has been partially attributed to regular, moderate red wine consumption. However, it's important to approach this topic with nuance. The resveratrol content in wine is actually quite low, and you'd need to drink impractical amounts to reach the doses used in most research studies. The cardiovascular benefits of moderate wine consumption, typically defined as 1 glass per day for women, up to 2 for men, likely come from a combination of resveratrol, other polyphenols, and the alcohol itself, which in moderate amounts can raise HDL cholesterol and have mild anti-clotting effects. But alcohol is also a toxin that must be processed by your liver, and excessive consumption is clearly harmful, linked to liver disease, certain cancers, addiction, and numerous other health problems. The key word is moderate. If you already enjoy wine occasionally with meals in a Mediterranean fashion, a glass with dinner, sipped slowly, paired with food, then you may receive some cardiovascular and longevity-promoting benefits from the polyphenols it contains. If you don't drink, there's no compelling reason to start for health purposes, as you can get similar and often superior polyphenols from foods like grapes, berries, dark chocolate, and tea without the risks associated with alcohol. Red wine represents an interesting case study in how food, culture, context, and dose all matter. A compound that's beneficial in grapes and potentially beneficial in wine, but only when consumed in moderation, preferably with food, as part of an overall healthy dietary pattern. Seaweed and iodine. Seaweed, whether it's nori wrapped around sushi, wakame floating in miso soup, kelp in a salad, or dulse sprinkled as a seasoning, represents one of the most nutrient-dense foods available. Sea vegetables concentrate minerals from ocean water, particularly iodine, which is essential for thyroid function. Your thyroid gland uses iodine to produce thyroid hormones that regulate metabolism, growth, development, and body temperature. Iodine deficiency was once a major public health problem worldwide, leading to goiter, hypothyroidism, and developmental problems in children. The introduction of iodized salt largely eliminated deficiency in many countries, but as people consume less salt for health reasons or switch to non-iodized salts like sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, mild iodine deficiency is becoming more common again. Seaweed provides iodine in a natural, food-based form, along with other minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and various trace minerals. Different types of seaweed have different mineral profiles and flavors. Nori is mild and slightly sweet, kombu is rich and umami flavored, dulse has a bacon-like saltiness. Seaweed also contains unique polysaccharides like fucoidin and alginate that have been studied for their potential anti-inflammatory, immune-supporting, and even anti-cancer properties. Including seaweed in your diet, even occasionally, provides minerals that are difficult to get from land-based foods and connects you to the ocean, the original source of all life on Earth. It's worth noting that some seaweeds, particularly kelp, can contain very high levels of iodine, so if you're consuming them regularly or in supplement form, it's worth being mindful of total intake, as excessive iodine can also cause thyroid problems. But used as a seasoning or occasional food, seaweed is a nutritional treasure from the sea. Aged black garlic appears again here, and it's worth emphasizing its uniqueness as a therapeutic food. The S-allylcysteine we discussed earlier is remarkably stable and bioavailable compared to the allicin in fresh garlic. While fresh garlic requires immediate consumption or careful preparation to preserve its beneficial compounds, aged black garlic's compounds remain active even after cooking or extended storage. This makes it easier to incorporate therapeutically into your regular diet. The aging process also produces melanoidins, brown compounds formed through Maillard reactions that have antioxidant properties. Some research suggests that aged garlic extract can reduce the progression of atherosclerosis, lower blood pressure as effectively as some medications, improve immune function, and potentially support liver health. The sweet, complex flavor of aged black garlic makes it more palatable than raw garlic for people who find raw garlic too harsh. And because it doesn't cause the same pungent breath, it can be eaten more liberally. You might spread it on bread, add it to dressings, stir it into soups, or even eat whole cloves as a condiment. It's one of those foods that bridges the gap between culinary ingredient and therapeutic supplement. Delicious enough to want to eat, powerful enough to have measurable health effects. These 4 foods, black tea with its inflammation-modulating flavonoids, red wine with its resveratrol and polyphenols consumed in careful moderation, seaweed with its iodine and ocean minerals, and aged black garlic with its stable, bioavailable sulfur compounds, represent specialty foods that offer something beyond basic nutrition. They're therapeutic, meaning they contain compounds at concentrations that can have measurable effects on specific health conditions or risk factors. You don't need to consume all of them, and some may not fit your dietary preferences or health situation, but knowing they exist, understanding what they offer, gives you options for addressing specific health goals through food rather than, or in addition to, medications or supplements. We arrive now at a final set of reflections, and appropriately, they're about cardiovascular protection, the health of your heart and blood vessels. This theme has appeared again and again throughout our journey because cardiovascular disease remains the leading cause of death worldwide, and because diet has such a profound impact on cardiovascular health. Let's gather together several foods we've discussed and appreciate how they form a comprehensive, food-based approach to protecting your heart. Strawberries and heart protection. We've mentioned strawberries for their anthocyanins and fisetin, but let's consider the accumulation of research on berries and cardiovascular health. Multiple large long-term studies have found that people who regularly consume berries, particularly strawberries and blueberries, have significantly lower risk of heart attacks. One study found that women who ate 3 or more servings of berries per week had about a 30% reduction in heart attack risk compared to women who rarely ate berries. The mechanisms are multiple. Berries reduce inflammation, improve cholesterol profiles, lower blood pressure, improve the function of the endothelium lining blood vessels, reduce oxidative stress, and may even influence platelet function to reduce the risk of blood clots. What's remarkable is that these effects come from simply eating real food, fresh or frozen berries added to breakfast, eaten as snacks, blended into smoothies. No complex preparation, no expensive processing, just whole fruit containing compounds that nature designed to protect the plant, and that, when we consume them, protect us too. The sweetness of strawberries, their bright color, their associations with summer and freshness, all of this makes eating them a pleasure, not a chore. Heart-healthy eating doesn't have to be about deprivation or bland food. It can be about strawberries, their juice staining your fingers, their flavor bursting on your tongue. Black tea appears here again, completing its triple appearance in our journey. The cardiovascular benefits of black tea are so well established that some researchers have suggested it should be recommended as part of heart disease prevention strategies. Those theaflavins we keep discussing don't just reduce inflammation, they specifically improve endothelial function, meaning the cells lining your blood vessels work more efficiently, producing more nitric oxide, responding more appropriately to signals to dilate or constrict. The endothelium is often called the body's largest endocrine organ because it's so active in producing signaling molecules, and its dysfunction is one of the earliest signs of cardiovascular disease. By supporting endothelial health, black tea is literally keeping your blood vessels younger, more flexible, more responsive. Multiple cups daily, accumulated over years, may add up to significantly reduced risk of heart disease and stroke. And unlike medications that target single pathways, tea's multiple compounds work synergistically, supporting cardiovascular health through numerous mechanisms simultaneously. Green tea and heart effects deserve their own recognition alongside black tea. While they come from the same plant, the different processing means green tea retains higher levels of catechins, particularly EGCG, which have their own cardiovascular benefits. Green tea catechins have been shown to reduce LDL cholesterol, lower blood pressure, improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and protect LDL cholesterol from oxidation. That last point is particularly important. Oxidized LDL cholesterol is more likely to be taken up by macrophages in artery walls, forming the fatty streaks that are the earliest stage of atherosclerosis. By preventing LDL oxidation, green tea catechins help prevent the very first step in the development of arterial plaque. Green tea also appears to improve the ratio of HDL to LDL cholesterol, shifting your lipid profile in a favorable direction. In populations where green tea is consumed daily, particularly in Japan, rates of cardiovascular disease are among the lowest in the world, even when controlling for other dietary and lifestyle factors. Whether you prefer green tea or black tea often comes down to taste and caffeine sensitivity. Green tea is generally milder and lower in caffeine, but both provide significant cardiovascular protection when consumed regularly. Olive oil polyphenols complete our cardiovascular protection quartet, and they might be the most powerful of all. The Mediterranean diet, which has been studied more than perhaps any other dietary pattern, consistently shows remarkable cardiovascular benefits, reduced heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular deaths. And while the Mediterranean diet includes many beneficial components, fish, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, nuts, extra virgin olive oil stands out as particularly important. The landmark Predimed study conducted in Spain found that people who consumed about 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily had about a 30% reduction in cardiovascular events compared to a control group. 4 tablespoons a day. That's a substantial amount of oil, more than most Americans typically consume, but it's standard in Mediterranean cuisine where olive oil is used liberally, drizzled over vegetables, mixed into dressings, used for gentle sautéing, even consumed by the spoonful in the morning by some traditional practitioners. The polyphenols in that olive oil, hydroxytyrosol, tyrosol, oleocanthal, and others, are reducing inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system, protecting cholesterol from oxidation, improving endothelial function, reducing blood pressure, preventing platelet aggregation, and potentially even influencing gene expression in ways that support cardiovascular health. The monounsaturated fats provide stable calories that don't require insulin spikes to process and that support the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins and phytonutrients from vegetables. Using extra virgin olive oil as your primary fat, replacing butter, margarine, and refined vegetable oils, is one of the single most impactful dietary changes you can make for heart health. Strawberries, black tea, green tea, and extra virgin olive oil represent a comprehensive, evidence-based, food-first approach to cardiovascular protection. They work through different but complementary mechanisms. They're accessible and affordable. They fit into various cultural cuisines and eating patterns, and they're all genuinely enjoyable to consume. This is what evidence-based nutrition should look like. Not restriction and deprivation, not exotic superfoods and expensive supplements, but real foods that taste good, that fit into normal life, that have been consumed by healthy populations for generations, and that science now validates and explains. Your cardiovascular system, your heart, and the miles of blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to every cell in your body responds to what you feed it. Feed it strawberries and tea and olive oil, day after day, year after year, and you're giving it the tools to stay healthy, flexible, and functional for as long as possible. Rest in that. Let it be simple. Protecting your heart doesn't require perfection or complexity. It requires consistency with foods that love you back. We arrive now at our final section, and it feels right to end where so many health journeys ultimately lead, toward longevity, toward the hope of not just living longer, but living better, with vitality and function preserved as the years accumulate. The foods we're about to discuss contain compounds that researchers believe may influence the fundamental mechanisms of aging itself, working at the cellular level to slow deterioration, enhance repair, and extend the healthy years of life. Let's explore these final 4 facts with the same gentle attention we've brought to everything else. Turmeric and its longevity pathways. We've talked extensively about curcumin's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, but recent research suggests curcumin may influence aging through even more fundamental mechanisms. Curcumin appears to activate certain cellular pathways associated with longevity, including autophagy, the process by which your cells break down and recycle damaged components, essentially cleaning house and maintaining cellular quality. As we age, autophagy naturally declines, leading to the accumulation of damaged proteins, dysfunctional mitochondria, and cellular debris that impairs function. By stimulating autophagy, curcumin may help cells maintain themselves more effectively, potentially slowing the aging process. Curcumin also influences sirtuins, a family of proteins that regulate cellular health and are activated during caloric restriction, which has been shown to extend lifespan in numerous organisms. It may even affect telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes that shorten with each cell division and whose length is associated with biological aging. Additionally, curcumin has been studied for its potential to improve brain health with aging, possibly reducing the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other neurodegenerative conditions. The populations in India that consume turmeric daily as part of curry have notably low rates of Alzheimer's disease compared to Western populations, though this could be due to multiple factors. Whether turmeric will help you live to 100 is uncertain. Longevity is complex, influenced by genetics, environment, lifestyle, and luck. But the evidence suggests that regular turmeric consumption, especially when combined with black pepper for absorption, may support the cellular processes that keep you functioning well as you age, potentially adding not just years to life, but life to years. Resveratrol and sirtuins bring us back to red wine and grapes, but with a focus on longevity research. Resveratrol burst into scientific prominence in the early 2000s when researchers discovered it could activate sirtuins, particularly SIRT1, which is sometimes called the longevity gene because of its role in cellular repair, stress resistance, and metabolic regulation. In laboratory studies, resveratrol extended the lifespan of yeast, worms, flies, and even some fish. It improved health markers in mice fed high-fat diets, preventing many of the negative effects of obesity. It seemed for a time like a genuine anti-aging compound had been discovered. The reality has proven more complex. The doses required to see dramatic effects in animals are far higher than what you'd get from drinking wine or eating grapes. Human studies have shown more modest but still meaningful benefits: improved blood sugar control, reduced inflammation, better cardiovascular function. The current understanding is that resveratrol, like many polyphenols, probably works not through a single dramatic mechanism, but through multiple subtle effects that accumulate over time. It may not be a longevity miracle, but it's likely a longevity contributor, one piece of a larger puzzle that includes diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, social connection, and purpose. Grapes, both red and purple, contain resveratrol in their skins, along with numerous other polyphenols. Eating grapes whole or consuming moderate amounts of red wine with meals in the Mediterranean fashion provides resveratrol along with fiber, other antioxidants, and the pleasure of taste and ritual. It's a reminder that longevity research increasingly points not to magic bullets, but to patterns, consistent moderate consumption of protective foods as part of an overall lifestyle that supports health. Oleuropein for aging takes us back to olives and olive leaves, where this bitter compound is most concentrated. Beyond its cardiovascular benefits, oleuropein has been studied for its potential effects on aging and age-related diseases. Research suggests oleuropein may help protect against neurodegenerative diseases by reducing oxidative stress in the brain, supporting mitochondrial function, and reducing the accumulation of toxic proteins associated with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. It appears to have anti-diabetic properties, improving insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, which is crucial for healthy aging since metabolic dysfunction accelerates many aspects of the aging process. Oleuropein may also support bone health, potentially reducing the risk of osteoporosis by influencing bone cell activity and reducing inflammation that contributes to bone loss. Some research in animals has shown that olive leaf extract, which is very high in oleuropein, can extend lifespan and improve various health markers. In Mediterranean regions where olive oil is consumed liberally and where the climate allows olive trees to flourish, people have traditionally lived long, healthy lives. The blue zones, areas of exceptional longevity, include several Mediterranean locations. While we can't attribute this entirely to olives, they're certainly part of the picture. Including olives and extra virgin olive oil in your daily diet means you're consuming oleuropein regularly, along with all those other beneficial compounds we've discussed. It's an elegant example of how traditional foods from long-lived populations often contain compounds that science is now discovering have specific anti-aging properties. SAC from aged black garlic completes our longevity quartet. S-allyl cysteine, that stable, bioavailable sulfur compound created during the aging of garlic, has been studied not just for cardiovascular benefits, but for its potential to support healthy aging more broadly. SAC appears to protect cells from oxidative damage, support mitochondrial function, reduce chronic inflammation, and may even help protect against age-related cognitive decline. Some animal studies have shown that aged garlic extract can extend lifespan and improve markers of health in aging organisms. SAC may also support liver health, helping this crucial detoxification organ continue functioning well as you age. The liver's ability to process toxins, medications, and metabolic waste products naturally declines with age, and supporting liver health is an important but often overlooked aspect of healthy aging. Aged black garlic is easier to consume regularly than raw garlic because of its pleasant taste and lack of harsh breath effects. A clove or two of aged black garlic daily, spread on toast, added to dishes, or eaten plain, provides a concentrated dose of SAC along with other beneficial compounds formed during the aging process. It's a small addition to your diet that may have outsized effects on longevity and health span, the number of years you live in good health, able to function independently and enjoy life. These 4 foods, turmeric, grapes, and red wine, olives and olive oil, and aged black garlic, represent what we know so far about foods and longevity. They contain compounds that influence the fundamental processes of aging at the cellular level. They activate protective pathways, support cellular repair, reduce the inflammation and oxidative stress that accelerate aging, and help maintain the function of crucial organs like the brain, heart, and liver. But here's what's most important to understand. Longevity is not about any single food or compound. It's about patterns sustained over time. It's about the accumulation of thousands of meals made with whole, minimally processed foods rich in protective compounds. It's about the 100 facts we've explored together in this journey, the fiber feeding your microbiome, the antioxidants protecting your cells, the omega-3 fats building your brain, the nitrates supporting your circulation, the probiotics training your immune system, the polyphenols reducing inflammation. Each fact, each food, each compound is a thread in a larger tapestry of health. The beauty is that these foods are not exotic or inaccessible. They're turmeric in your curry, grapes with lunch, olive oil drizzled over dinner vegetables, aged black garlic as a condiment. They're everyday choices that add up over years and decades. They're eating breakfast with berries and chia seeds, having tea in the afternoon, snacking on walnuts and dark chocolate, cooking with garlic and onions, including fermented foods and leafy greens, choosing salmon once a week, using herbs and spices generously, staying hydrated with water, and eating water-rich fruits. None of this requires perfection. You don't need to eat every single one of these foods every single day. You just need to generally tend toward these patterns. More plants, more color, more variety, more whole foods, more traditional preparations, less processing, less added sugar, less refined carbohydrates. Your body is remarkably resilient and remarkably responsive. Every meal is an opportunity to provide it with the compounds it needs to function, to repair, to protect, to thrive. The choices you make today affect not just today, but tomorrow and next week and next year. And that's actually empowering, not overwhelming, because it means you have agency. You have influence over your own health trajectory through the simple, repetitive, accumulated act of choosing what to eat. So as we come to the end of these 100 facts about food, let them settle into you gently. You don't need to remember every detail, every compound name, every mechanism. Just let the broad themes rest in your awareness. That whole foods contain protective compounds, that variety matters, that traditional diets have wisdom encoded in them, that plants are powerful, that fermentation is beneficial, that healthy fats support your brain and heart, that protein and minerals build and maintain your body, that antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds work quietly to protect you day after day. Thank you for joining this journey through food and health. Thank you for your attention, your curiosity, your willingness to learn about what you're putting in your body and why it matters. May this knowledge serve you well. May it help you make choices that support your health, your energy, your longevity, and your joy in eating. May you sleep well tonight, knowing that your body is constantly working to maintain and heal itself, and that you're giving it the tools it needs to do that work effectively. Rest easy, take a deep breath, let it all go. Your body knows what to do. You're doing just fine. Sleep well.